It's going down like this, motherfucker.
This shit is crazy. The following
Nigga get mad. Say, motherfucker, what you mean you ain't gonna let me in this funky joint? Much money I done spent in here, nigga. I knew your mama when she was hoeing. Huh, baby. Shit, bet I do it over time. Say that, nigga. Shit. Bar, back the bar, off time. Shit, boy, I'm trying to make me some money. Boy, I'm hungry as a hog need. Slap Jesus. Shit, gotta be a Jesus, cause too many black folks.
For what he has, he says that for what he has, he says that for what he has, he says that the only way that for what he has, he says that the only way that we can for what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite together among ourselves, among our own kind, clean ourselves up, rid ourselves of the evils that we've become addicted to here in this society, and try and
Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man. Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man.
This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying. This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying. This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying.
I just left a light in this bit. I just left a light in this bit. I just left a light in this bit. I'm finna hit the shop in this shit.
Fuck up. Move the fuck up. Fuck up.
Hey, where are the white women at?
Gotta get a piece of my
Joe Beach. He looked down, seen his feet. The nigga went berserk, killed the monkey, threw the bat out the window, start kicking that bitch in the air.
Say anyway, but I will. The way quantum entanglement works is that you can take two particles, quantum entangle them, and then take those two particles and move them at any distance in the cosmos. And let's just say, for example, if you quantum entangle two electrons and you have them spinning in the same direction, and then you take one of those electrons and you shoot that thing out 100,000 light years from the original. If you then rotate the spin on the one electron, if you modify it so that its spin changes, the quantum entangled electron at any distance will simultaneously in no time switch its rotation also, because they're quantum entangled. So these communication systems are taking advantage of this aspect of quantum mechanics that most people can't wrap their heads around, and this is what they're utilizing. It's just the new level of science that affords us the ability to communicate at any distance instantaneously.
You don't understand. It's cool enough just being cool, like I am.
I mean, TikTok. A lot of the white content creators on TikTok get all of their dances from the black content creators.
You're a philosopher? Yes. You're a philosopher? Yes. I think very deep. I think very deep.
up yours, nigger.
Dance with me. Oh yeah. Hey, dance with me. Oh yeah.
Damn white boys out there. Most of them is psychopaths and all that. They'll kill your mama.
Decent white folk that still don't know they're racist.
What the hell you want here, hunky?
Be rude.
know the lines are still open. Oh shit, you can get it, nigga. You wanna get it? Your shit. Get your hands off of me, shit!
The Chinese platform, you already know they don't give a fuck about your black. The Chinese platform, you already know they don't give a fuck about your black. The Chinese platform, you already know they don't give a fuck about your black ass. And then
I think we OD. I think we OD.
That's the difference when you're my baby. That's the difference when you're my.
My word, can't be my equal, I don't know what you heard. Heavy, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when heavy. I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I hit the loop juice. It pulls up in the dude. I hit the loop juice. It pulls up in the deuce.
I guess you go to the history of European civilizations. 250 years is how long they last before they implode because of their greed, because of their violence, because of an inability to let others be, including themselves. If they didn't have brown and black people to hate, they would hate themselves.
Do that dance, baby, do that dance. Aye, nigga. Aye, nigga. Aye, nigga. Aye, nigga. Lean and buck, lean buck.
To the east. Greetings. This is Big Pontiac, and welcome to the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am the holder of the infinite sacred ball game that was created by the Hero Twins, and I am that one and only galactic daddy-o welcoming each and every one of you to my galactic patio that reaches from Minnesota to the universe. I guess that's my motherfucking cue to come on in and say what's happening to everybody out there in YouTube land, in American land, wherever you catch me at this time. I just wanted to, now I'll say what's happening to everybody and then I'll get into it. Nephlin, thank you for joining me. And to be up this late, you definitely got to have vision. And while we're on the Chocolate Mountain, we only do one dance. Would you like to dance with me? We're doing the cosmics. And there's only one rule.
Don't touch my truck.
Oh, I'm breaking protocol. Let me back up and check myself. That is not what we do at this part of the show. Sorry about that. We do something else. We don't start welcoming people in. It's not hard to guess. The suspension is not very deep. Because if you watch me, you know I only drink the finest of ales. You'll never see me drinking a Schlitz malt liquor, Bull, Coat 45, or even a Budweiser. A couple years ago, they had a bourbon Budweiser that was pretty good, but I only drink the finest beer. And fortunately for me, the finest beer is made by Great Lakes. And this is Great Lakes Alien Nest again. So pop them if you got them. Listen to that. Ooh, all right. Jumped in on me. And we're still smoking on the Jungle Boys Super Sour Apple Killer. So smoke them if you want them. Oh, yeah. All right. Now, let's wake. Who's next? Who's next? Rondo Ganja. What is happening? Thank you for joining. And we know you got to have vision. And on the Chocolate Mountain Show, we have on the Chocolate Mountain, we have a galactic patio, and we only do one dance on that patio, and that is. Would you like to dance with me doing the house? Ooh, ah. And there's only one rule, leave that 50 alone.
Don't touch my truck.
And we are all here for one reason. I am here to take you higher. And what is my main man, even though he lives far away in Saipan. Him and I used to kick it with a nigga named Jackie Chan. And Jackie Chan used to chase around people and say, "Is that the man?" Oh. And he's a man who never has to worry about his bitches.
My bitches. You saying you can't control your bitches? What?
And he definitely has.
Got to have vision.
And here on the Chocolate Mountain, we have a galactic patio and we only do one funky dance. Would you like to dance with me? We're doing the house. Ooh, ah. George Clinton said, "Hey, y'all sit back and go, ooh, ah." Only one rule, leave that F-50 alone.
Don't touch my truck.
Don't touch the truck, but we are here for one reason. We're here to take you higher. Jamar 3224. What is happening? And we know you have to have.
Got to have vision.
And we know on the Chocolate Mountain, we have a galactic patio and there's only one dance done on it. Would you like to dance with me? We're doing the cosmic slump. And there's only one rule.
Don't touch my truck.
Leave that F-50 alone, even though it's sparkling, rims gleaming. But we're only here for one reason. Let me take you higher. I love this shit. It is so fun. Dr. Sinister, what is happening? Right on. And we know you have.
Got to have vision.
And on the galactic patio, we only do one dance. Would you like to dance with me? It is only one rule.
Don't touch my truck.
And we're all here for one reason. I am here to take you higher. OTF, what is happening? And I know you definitely got to have.
Got to have vision.
And on the Chocolate Mountain, we only do one dance. Would you like to dance with me? And there's only one rule.
Don't touch my truck.
And we are here for one reason and only.
All right. We say, what's up? Big Pontiac, did you watch the fight? I missed everything. I had to work. Which fight? I saw Esteban and Ramirez and Esteban. That was the featherweight championship. I wasn't sure. I thought Haney fought tonight. Didn't Haney fight? I haven't looked that up. Didn't Haney fight? But yeah, let me tell you what I predicted. I'm going to tell you what I predicted. What did I break down about Halliburton last night? What did I break down? I said Halliburton does not shoot well off the dribble, especially from deep. Remember in the first half, shot an air ball because they was chasing him. And remember, he has the weird where he has to gather and step. He has a couple little steps. He doesn't truly have a backup like giant step. He just needs those couple little quick steps. And if he can't get that, he can't shoot. He's not an off the ball shooter. Look at all his highlights. All of a sudden, he didn't play well, did he? He had a couple layups, but I'm gonna tell you who played well the whole tournament, and they rewarded him was Kyle Reddish. Kyle Reddish had at least 2 or 3 blocks every game that I watched. The last 3 games, Kyle Reddish had at least 2 or 3 blocks every game. Shit, he blocked that one number 5, the little guy they brought in. He blocked his shot a couple times. Kyle Reddish played well. He played really well. I mean, I'm glad that he finally has found a spot where people like him because even at Duke, I didn't think he really got to truly see how good he was. And he's long. And that's something they said early in the contest. They said the Lakers are long. Prince, what, is 6'7", 6'8"? Reddish is what, 6'7"? Everywhere across. They bring Vanderbilt in. What is he, 6'8", 6'9"? I mean, they're long. And they got, like, Reddish can play a guard or a 3. He can play 2, 3, 1. He'll match up with any of them. He's so long, and that's what people forget. So, it was some BS, it really was. I mean, what Anthony Davis slipped. He slipped. He said, well, I know this ain't for real. Did y'all catch that at the end of the game? And did y'all catch where, the commissioner, what the commissioner said, good show. He said, good show to Indiana. He said, good show, Indiana. So they tell you, they don't care that you pick up on this thing, but that is like good show, and that's what it was. That's what it was. It was a good show, but it seemed like so many ways. Look at all the people that couldn't figure out Halliburton. Just put a bigger guy on him, a bigger guy just as quick. So nobody else had that. Nobody else had a bigger guy just as quick. So that's what I got out of a lot of it. Anthony Davis, I mean, he blocked at least 3 shots and 20 rebounds he was getting everything. But again, we saw that before. We saw in Milwaukee where they was getting out rebounded. That's why it was odd that Milwaukee even lost that game because they was easily out rebounding Indiana until the last couple minutes. Again, nobody can stop Halliburton. And he getting open looks. Tonight he wasn't getting any open looks. Remember in the first half, I said there giggled. I said, this is exactly what I was talking about. He had the ball, time going out. He's deep, shot an air ball. And how many more threes did he take after that? Every 3 was contested. Every 3 was pretty much off the dribble. I don't think he made a 3 tonight at all. But Anthony Davis, hit the boards, tipping the ball in, but they put constant pressure. They went to the basket a lot. Reddish hit a couple threes. The last game, he hit a couple, then he hit 1. Prince made 5 threes last game. I don't even know if Prince made 1 tonight. And I'm sorry I couldn't go live. My brother-in-law came over and my daughter was here, and, we all just family shit. So I'm sorry I didn't, watch the game and go over it. I thought I would be able to, but things got a little busy. Let me see. Boxing. Haney. Yeah, I missed Haney. I missed the Haney fight. Jungle Boys got good, but I've tried what they had. Yeah, this card is, I'm going on about a month with this sucker. And every time it's like, woo. I take the edibles, but this keeps going too. So yeah, this stuff is nice. Yeah, I missed the Haney fight. ESPN Plus, and I don't think we have ESPN Plus. I was looking and I was thinking, is it through this? And yeah, I don't think we have that. So I'm going to turn on, I'm gonna have to end up getting Bally's. I'm gonna have to get the Timberwolves and to see my Wild game. So I thought we had ESPN Plus, but I don't know. We might just get a Fire Stick that have all that shit loaded. Remember, they made it to the finals 23 years ago. Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. That's a real good point. I really think, this might be the Timberwolves year. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. They're setting it up like they're going to get a deep road run. They whooped. It's funny. I was watching the game kind of because where he sat. We should have just sat at the bar, but we had a high table and they put us like in the summertime. When you have an outdoor bar, you can roll up. You can roll up where it's a bar right there, and you can sit outside. We sat in that outside part, but with the heat on and shit. But the game they had on, they was getting ready for the hockey game, and so the Wolves was playing under the screen. So I was kind of watching like this. I was kind of watching like that. So, but they whooped the Memphis's ass. So, did anybody watch the Army Navy game? Oh, you heard Haney dominate. Okay. I didn't see that. They met 23 years ago. Yeah. Yep. That was the one time Jalen went to the finals. Oh, Haney dominate. Okay. I have to watch some breakdowns on YouTube. Yeah, because I didn't get a chance to see it. I was like looking for it and wasn't sure what it was on. So I didn't really pay that much attention. So yeah, they stopped Halliburton tonight. Yeah, the Ramirez fight, Esteban whooped his ass. I mean, it was back and forth, but it really seemed fake because he hit Romas. He hit him in the 12th round. Dude went down. But I'll say, dude had knots all over the top of his head. Like the Bugs Bunny, how many lumps you want? 3 or 4. He had them kind of big knots on his head. So I saw that fight. That fight was on ESPN. When the game went off, I turned right to that, and I caught it from the 7th round. So I don't know. I don't know if the champion really. I thought it was again not seeing early in the fight. It was another knockdown, but I didn't think he had to go down in the last round, and so that's a 2-point score there. So that was kind of bogus. But anybody watch the Army Navy game? I text my boy that I showed a few months ago. They graduated from West Point, and I was like, "Didn't you play in 4 of these games?" He went to West Point and he played football that I know, so I'm pretty sure he played, and that's why I hit him. He didn't hit me back. I thought he played in 4 of those games, so he went to West Point. I thought on a football scholarship. Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought he played football at West Point. Pretty sure he did. Pretty sure he did. He's got to be about 50-ish. Let me see what he say. Haney won 120 to 107 on all 3 cars. He dropped dude. Oh, he dropped it. Okay. It's good he got to work in, though. That's really good he got to work in. And he fought 12 rounds. That's what he needed. That's good. Okay. I'll catch it. I'll catch it on something. But, yeah. I missed that one. I definitely missed that one because wasn't sure how to do it. And then tomorrow's big sports day. Vikings come on at 3. And I got to go to the storage and get some more of the stuff. So pick up some more of the Christmas stuff, or I might send the girls. Send them to get the stuff. And then we're going to move our living room around, put the tree up, and put that stuff. I'm glad we're only going to have it up for a couple weeks. Because don't remember, the solstice is like what is today's the 9th? The solstice is right around the corner. Yeah, the solstice is, it's right with us. So what, 10 days? So 10 days, 10 more days of dark nights? Yeah, it's the 10th. 11 days. The solstice on the 11th, on the 21st. We got snow like a motherfucker up here. Not terrible, but like where everything is covered and made the streets slippery. We got that kind of snow up here. So looks like winter's finally about to set in, but I showed before, the rest of the week looks kind of mild. Like we may have this today, but I don't know. Where is it? Right here. Like I had the fireplace on downstairs. Like what we're looking at is yeah, this is like no snow. See in the long range forecast. So this is where is it at? Where did it show the long? It's just tonight. Oh, here we go. Okay, so Monday, high at 22. That's what it's going to be. High at 22. Yeah, no rain. Yeah, it doesn't look like any snow. So we got the 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th. Yeah, no snow. What they say in 1718. Yeah, no snow. What they saying around Christmas? Yeah, it doesn't look like any snow. Looks like this is the only snow we're gonna have. Yeah, so, and we are here. And yeah, Christmas is, why do we got double 24s? First, okay. Oh, temperature's the same. I got it. This is Michigan's playing on this day, the 1st. So don't forget that Michigan is playing on the 1st. So this is, this shit's gonna go quick. I mean, this goes quick, y'all. I mean, it's cold up here, but you see, it doesn't look like it's gonna be a lot more snow. Yeah. Doesn't look like, maybe on the 22nd, 23rd, maybe. But it doesn't look like any big accumulation. So that's right the fuck on. Because the driving is the only thing, but they do such a good job. Let me see. I watched Duke, UD, and some Purdue versus Bama NCAA. They're making the smaller schools slightly stronger. Did you watch any of the Division II championship? They had the Division II quarterfinals. It was South Dakota versus Villanova. Villanova, they're Division I basketball, but they're FCS football. And South Dakota State beat the shit out of them. And then North Dakota State, North Dakota State the team had a better record, but North Dakota State beat the shit out of them. I forget who they played, but I watched that before the Army game, and then I watched that Army-Navy game, which was actually a pretty good game. So I watched that. Basketball, I watched all that college basketball too. So, yeah, let me see. I watched a little bit of Wisconsin. Wisconsin got blown out by, I don't even remember now, but Wisconsin got beat. I watched that game. Whoever beat Wisconsin, I did see that game. So yeah, I watched a bunch of sports. Football though, I watched a lot of football. North Dakota State, I probably could look it up who they played, but they beat the shit out of them. So the games wasn't really, some of those games. Oh, Kansas. Did y'all watch Kansas? That's who beat Wisconsin. I think Wisconsin beat Kansas. Kansas beat Missouri. I watched that game too. My son had it on downstairs. I saw bits and pieces. Oh, okay. Hey, Dread, what's happening? Thank you for coming in. And I know you definitely got to have
vision.
And here on the Chocolate Mountain Show, we only do one dance.
Would you like to dance with me?
And you just got to follow one rule.
Don't touch my...
And we're all here to... I'm here to take you higher. So yeah, that's the games I watched. It was quite a few games today. I watched all that much. I remember Monday night is definitely, they were showing the commercials today. Monday night is definitely 2 games on Monday night, ABC and ESPN. Used to be free on ABC. So for some reason, they're giving you a free game. They give you one free game, depending if you should be streaming by now, cut the cable and streaming or whatever you can afford, but it's out there for you to get this a little easier. But it was, just that's, I didn't go nowhere. Didn't do nothing. I thought we was going out to the Mall of America, but we didn't even do that. So my girl got a ring. I didn't take no picture of it and shit, but I'm right on. And to me, it's never too much. It's never too much, especially for a woman and a ring. It's never too much, So whatever you can do is what you can do, and it's never too much, It just shows they're loved. And it amplifies, that's what, what diamonds do. They amplify. And remember, you got to clean them often because they can amplify good and they can amplify bad. Because diamonds can hold, negative energy. But that's why sugarite is so good just to have around. And I don't even think obsidian holds negative energy. I know selenite, it doesn't hold negative energy either. Or even something like kyanite, Kyanite, no matter what color, green, blue, or this black, it won't hold negative energy either. And so, you can take something like this and, put your rings on this, at night, whatever you do, just to cleanse them. But it's really to release them. Crystals don't really need to be charged. They need to be released. Full moons and shit, that's the period where they can get the energy that's being offered. So, that kind of thing. But for the most part, they're always moving, It's like these singing bowls. You can't hear them, but, the way everything, the heat and everything is moving, they're always singing technically. They're always something interacting with them. We just can't hear it. But on some level, it's something always make them vibrate, make them move. And that's why, crystals are clearly not a solid and they're not a liquid. They're in between. I mean, we can't see that they vibrate. I mean, sometimes you can catch them, you get really in tuned and you can catch this motherfucker. You can catch it moving. So, oh, did anybody get the shoes today? The breed 10s, the 10s, did anybody get the shoes today? They came out earlier today. Did anybody get them? I didn't get them. I don't find them very comfortable. But no, I didn't get them. Did anybody get them today? Anybody get the 10s? What is it? Let me see. What did I have that on? Who's this motherfucker? Oh my goodness. No, let me see. Nowhere in here. Oh, that shit was new. Okay, I didn't know. Nowhere in the shoes. Anybody get the shoes today? I was waiting on those. You was waiting on them, man. You could have what's that? DMP 11s. Yeah, DMP 11s. I could have went on, and I probably still can go to Dig Sports and get them, but Dig Sports had offered to, you just put your credit card in there, and it looked like you could just get them. What is it? I got it in there. Yeah. Here we go. There we go. And so here, what is this? No size chart. Oh, here we go. Oh, they look like they're pretty available. If I wanted a pair of 13s, looks like I could get them. This is not an order site. It's not gonna ask me what size, but so here they are. They're not. If anybody wants to get them, it doesn't seem like they're gonna be hard to get. This is kind of a higher range. You can get them cheaper than this. You go to the store, you might get them like that. I think at the store they $230. So again, where the sizes? So okay, somebody got them for $360. Old pair. They're not very comfortable. That's why I don't like them. Here you can get them for 11s. Wonder if these are real. What did it say up there? 19 watch Air Jordan Retros. What sizes? What sizes? Oh, here we go. Preschool. Let's see. What are they doing on the 13s? $369. What is y'all smoking? Come on. I don't need them that bad. I can get them cheaper than that. So that's for suckers. That's just what suckers pay. I want to say this is what's on the Nike app right here. I want to say this is what's on the Nike app. Is this what I was just on? Yeah, maybe. Okay, they're out. They're out. They're completely out. But again, if you want them, you can get them. You want them, they're out there. They probably still in the stores. I bet you, like, if I went to Dick's, let me see. I should go on Dick's right now. I bet I could still get a pair on Dick's. So, I like my 11 boots. So, yeah, I'm content. I'm content. Yeah, I like them. I like them. I like them, but I just, I'm gonna start wearing boots. More in my sneakers. I'm gonna keep my now that snow out there. I'm gonna wear my boots most of the time. So those 11s, I put my insoles. They 14 too. I'm gonna be wearing those most of the time. Yeah, and the 10 winterized. So that's what I'm gonna be. I'm gonna wear my Red Wings because I got some Red Wings, which used to be considered kind of hiking boots, and I'm gonna wear them. I got like 4 or 5 pair of Nike winter boots, so that's what I'm gonna be playing mostly, wearing them. Oh, I'm gonna get so clean next week. Oh my goodness, when I go to this, oh man, I showed you the dude's name, Glasper Joyner, I think is his name. Man, I'm gonna get dressed up. Just a dress shirt and some dress slacks. I don't know what shoes I'm gonna wear in there. Probably the 11 winterized boots, probably more than likely. And get that, take edibles up in there. And I guess he's won Grammys and shit. So I'm looking forward to that. Then Christmas Eve, we gonna be inside that motherfucker going down to US Bank. And we still debating, we got Christmas and I still got a younger daughter. And we have our great nephew still younger. So if we're gonna, go to one of the Timberwolves games. So maybe, because LeBron is gonna be here. Gosh, in the next, seem like the next month he comes here twice. I think that's what I think. I think in the next month, next 5 or 6 weeks, he comes here twice. So, and they're Western Conference, so it's not odd for him to come. So so I can say, yeah, I saw LeBron again. Man, I've watched so many players that it's funny seeing these cats out that I watched, and like some most things I can remember, traumatic things that happened to me, I don't remember quite so much, but other things, just when life is smooth, I can pretty much remember. Like I remember pickup games and shit. Like I would probably mention it to people and they would like, oh really, yeah, that happened, yeah, you really did that. And so I don't know, and I hold those memories sacred. Oh, the next thing, okay, this is a turn. Oshani's contract, he's going to make, what is it, $71 million a year. Who the hell bid on this? Damn. Who bid this? Anyway. Now, see what we have with them, and let's look at the history of Japanese baseball, Korean baseball, Filipino baseball. All that baseball comes out of World War II. All right? All that comes out of World War II. So they've been playing baseball for about 70 years in those countries. Now, as I said before, just like the Europeans that they try to invade now, Joker and, all them, Luca, the Europeans, they're trying to, again, bring people from our minor leagues, just like China and Europe is. Those are the minor leagues. Let's call it what it really is. And saying, a guy who, do you know he won the MVP and he appeared in the fewest games ever? The fewest games ever. He only appeared in 110 games. Granted, he's a pitcher, but they had him hitting, but he only appeared in 110 games and he's the MVP. What doesn't make sense of this contract is he's coming off his second Tommy John. His second Tommy John. He's not going to pitch again until 25. So next year, all he's going to do is hit. Probably designate hit. That's all he's going to do. Designate hit. Maybe, does he play first base? I don't think so. I think he just pitches and designated hits. So he's not going to pitch again next year. So, and this is when you give him money after he has surgery, you give him money. That's where it can't be real. Nobody would give a damaged player like that bread like that. They would wait and see. And that baseball bread be guaranteed bread too. And baseball's been like years. It don't matter. You get hurt, the mugs like breaking a fingernail, they still get their millions. So it's a mocking. It's a mocking to all the South American players, all the American players. It's a mocking to us and to them. It's a mocking. It's trying to say, well, this guy is better than all of you that grew up in the Americas. He's better than you. We got to bring them players over here. And when we bring them over here, they're better than you. It's the same thing they're pulling on the basketball. trying to get you to believe that these dudes coming from there are better. There's nothing like them. They had to get the most money of all time. Just this couple years. Ain't none of his teams won. Ain't none of his teams won the championship. Yet they're paying him like they have. He hasn't been a difference maker since he's played in the league. But they want you to believe he's the best player ever in the league right now. Playing the fewest games. And pitching, he never did a complete game pitching, did he? And we can rightly say, pitching in America fucks up your shoulder. Because he pitched over there, and I don't know that deep about when he pitched. They never said anything about him having shoulder issues when he was coming over here. But it's something about the way, I've said this before with Mike Marshall and the way they throw the ball. The way they throw the ball, it's other ways you can throw the ball, don't fuck your arm up. And for some reason, they won't go to that. Where the dude hangs, that's all they do is they let it rest. They found out if they use Mike Marshall's rest, they'll let it hang like that. That helps them. But that's the only thing. He mechanically showed them a way to throw that would not fuck your arm up. And none of them do it. So they continue to motherfuckers fucking their arms up. So, this is a mocking. It's a mocking to American players. And it's a joke. It's really a joke. We see how the false hype. That's what they say. Don't believe the hype. Well, we see the false hype. We see how easy they apply it. And want you to think that he's greater than people raised in America. That the competitions that the Americans played in the minor leagues wasn't as great, and he just was able to achieve over everyone. It's the same BS they doing in basketball. And, they won't admit it. They have to have them South American players, and that's what the beauty is. Because South America, they can play in them nice weather all the time. And Florida and Texas and California and those states. It's an advantage living in those states playing baseball. Because up here you can't really play. I don't know any domes up here where you can play. I know where you can hit. I know where you can hit, but there's nowhere up here you can play that I know of. So it's an advantage because, it's people that have winter baseball. The cities, the parts of the country that are still nice, they have baseball all year round. And so that's an advantage. That's definitely an advantage. And if you think that's something you want your child to do, you definitely should consider living in one of those areas where you can just play baseball. And I've said this before, what South American islands have, and they were the first to really do this. Basketball was later to do this, but they started academies probably in the late 70s, early 80s. Well, they just took the top talent, and that's all they do is play baseball. They educate them to a point, but all they do is play, and that's how they get evaluated. And, you have 5th, 6th graders playing with high school people in some instances, depending on what position they play. So, this is how they develop this talent down there. And, they've got middlemen to get that bread from them. It's almost like pimping players, but that's the system on the islands and down in South America, but that's what works. And so it's a mocking saying that they shouldn't be paid the most. And we know some of the brothers, got paid stupendously. So I can't hate on that. It's not I'm hating on him, but if you look at his game, there's nothing there that merits what they're giving him. He hasn't won for anybody. Same thing, Mike Trout. He get all that bread and they haven't won. Him or Mike Trout. So, they get this bread, but who are they? Mike Trout, MVP, but MVP of not winning. And that's a history of that as well. It's a history of that. So I just wanted to get that out there, how I felt about that. Man, but Sly made Godzilla sound good, but I'm not going to see any more movies on the side screens. If that shit ain't on the big screen with the sound, I'm not seeing that shit. And that's why, I could have saw King Kong. What we tried to see it last weekend, weekend before, and it wasn't on any of the full big screens. Matter of fact, it's not in anywhere here on any of the big screens. So I'm not gonna see that shit on the side screens. that shit don't look good as my TV, and that's frustrating to me. I gotta pay to go somewhere to watch some shit that don't look good as my TV. It's hard for me. That other shit, the screen is better, the sound is better. Some instances, the seats are better. Hell, one time, and when I was in Michigan, it was a movie theater that like they put a movie. I think we was in, like, it was a little small, looked like it was a closet for janitor's closet. We looked like we was in the movie, like the theater looked like a janitor's closet. I was like, with my daughter and her mother, and they would seem cool with it. We was like in the little janitor's closet, and I'm like, what is this? It's like, yeah, I'm like, okay, y'all cool with it? And they was cool with it. So I think it set like 50 people. This was the smallest theater I'd ever been in my life. It was like 50 people, man. It was like, okay, yeah, the popcorn. I'm like, we're in the janitor's closet. This is cool, huh? But so, oh, and Atlantis is coming out. Atlantis is coming out. I'm gonna see that shit. Aquaman. Yeah, if all he does is DH, yeah. What else he gonna do? I don't think he plays any position. I mean, I guess we could look it up, but I don't think he plays. I don't think there's any position that he plays. He only DH'd, I think, last year. When he didn't pitch, he DH'd. So it's artificial. And you know, it's not hating on him. It's saying why, you know, what, but it's saying over and over again, they want to put these foreigners over American players. And you know what they don't understand about the American, and American, I say that America goes up to Alaska and goes down to the islands. It's in their DNA. And this game is in our DNA. And you know, you and what they want to make you think that, you know, these people where the game ain't in their DNA, that they can be as great as us. And it doesn't work like that. This game is in our DNA. You know, it's not, you know, and even though to be a success, you have to be part of the corruption, it is still sacred to us. You know, we still look at these people that had to be on these fields. And there's magic on those fields. And so they had to, you know, take the same steps that many of us have taken. Playing in them games. And if you know high school baseball, nobody watches high school baseball. I knew Derek Jeter as a hooper. I didn't know him as a baseball player. You know, I did not know that. I'd met him when I met him. He was hooping. Derek's what, 6'4". He could hoop. Then all of a sudden he turns into player of the year. And I mean, I guess people, you know, mention it, but it's like high school baseball. You really got to be on top of it to go see a game. You got to really, because it's just, you know, you just don't hear about it. Not like basketball. Oh, and I said before, he's putting $5 million into Kalamazoo Central, rebuilding the baseball field and the softball field. And I said this before, I think his house is his parents' house, the house he grew up in, is the outfield of the baseball. So there's a fence, and then there's some houses in that neighborhood that border the high school. He grew up in one of them houses. And what was so funny, like when I would walk to my high school, it was a cemetery that we cut through. And it wasn't locked off or nothing. We would go out there and smoke weed and shit, especially me. I'd walk out of school and smoke a joint, sit there and smoke a joint, and then, you know, hit the woods, cut through the crib, be in the crib. I think it was like a 15-minute walk, you know, so. Strange place that they would put a school next to a cemetery, especially the football field. But it was like, it's nothing that creeped us out. It was common to walk through that motherfucker because it was right by the school, if you can dig. But I hope everybody, you know, whatever your thing is this time of year, I'm going to give me some scotch. This is the only time of year I really drink liquor. And it's like only 1 or 2 nights. And they going to be like, you know, you going to see me up here pulling that shit out every night. No, I can't do it. But, you know, this reminds me, and where is it? Oh, I didn't turn my little shelves on, didn't I? Sure didn't. I didn't turn my little shelves on back there. But, where's this motherfucker at? I'm gonna get this motherfucker. I'm gonna tell this story and get this motherfucker. So give me 3. Okay. Give me a second to do this. All right, let me tell this story. And this is, okay. This is not hating on anybody. Let me. Here we go. This is not hating on nobody. This is telling the real deal. This is a bottle from Dan Aykroyd's liquor. Whatever the fuck it's called, Skull maybe, I don't know. If you like the art, it's worth it. Okay, if you like the art, it's worth it. But this ain't shit to drink. This ain't liquor. Whatever I bought that was in this bottle, I could have drank the whole bottle and went to drive and wouldn't have blowed nothing. I mean, all this was, it was supposed to be 40 proof, maybe? It's vodka. This shit was probably 0.5 proof liquor. I mean, it was like drinking water. It was like very little alcohol in it. And this is, I think, equal to a fifth. This was supposed to be a fifth of liquor. Now, again, if you into the art, but don't buy this for liquor. This is not, I don't know what the fuck they put in here, but it don't get you drunk. There's not enough alcohol in it. It's not enough alcohol in it. So, I want to put that out there. That's even better. So I want to put that out there. I don't know where I can put this in the shot. Keep it right there for now. But yeah, that's real. So like they got the little bottles like that. Don't even waste your time with them. There ain't nothing in them. There ain't nothing in them. They ain't worth it. L Reborn Anmaru Khan, what is happening? And I know you've been here many times. I know you definitely got to have.
Got to have vision.
And on the Chocolate Mountain, we got a galactic patio. We only do one dance.
Would you like to dance with me? We're doing the cosmic slide.
Ooh, and there's only one rule.
Don't touch my
Don't touch that F-150, but we are all here to do one thing. I am here to take you higher, baby. Oh, yeah. So, but yeah, just that little bit of and just enjoy yourself. Don't get stressed. And I'll say this, energy given, definitely energy given to people out there that, like I told the story of my mother. My mother's 82 years old, and like my childhood was, it's like when you come from a really big family, and and I mean extended family. If those of you that were lucky enough, like we would go, and it's like one part of the area like was just my family. Like we went to Pawpaw, and you went on down this one road, it was just my family lived down the road. Like Pawpaw was it's still a little town of 3,000 or 4,000 people. Back then it was probably 2,000 people. And you went down this one part of Pawpaw, it was just my family. Like the road is the road. Like even with my great grandfather had his Model T. That road was the road they put in there. It was a way to get from farm to farm. Now it's highways now, but that wasn't what it once was. This was where, Merle people live over there. And we had the land going for miles. We had the land going for miles. I mean, if I showed you, if I go back and I'll film and show you where his property used to be, I mean, it was a lot of property. That's why it's a street named after him. So, And so, I hope you have that kind of history and you can find that. But I only bring that history up is that's the kind of history you used to have. We used to have Christmases where, as I talked about the other night, my aunt making gifts for people. And, it was like that was kind of a family thing. Everybody kind of did their own thing because my aunt and my grandmother came from, where my grandfather had left, so they kind of made my grandmother struggle. But the one thing she never had to struggle with was food because my grandfather, again, he's a farmer. So meat, chicken, they ain't struggling with that because that's there. The land is there. And I remember my mom saying it was hard work. My grandmother refused to do it at a certain age, but hey, that work fed your ass and that work raised you. And it's hard and it's a gamble. You to be a farmer, you a hell of a gambler because you never know about the weather. The weather is a hard thing to work with. But I've noticed just my own relationship with the weather is you work with it, it'll work with you. You believe in nature, and nature will believe with you and work with you. That's kind of how it works. You can't call on nature if you ain't never have a relationship with nature. It's raining and shit or whatever the situation is, the weather's fucking with you. If you don't have a relationship with nature, it's hard to call on it and say, I'm coming back from ice storm where it was clear. It was really odd. It was like I coming back from Michigan, it was clear the whole way, and I get in Wisconsin, it's ice. I'm hit with a storm. And I remember just passing this truck. I'm like, look, I can't stay behind it because it's throwing so much ice on me. I can't stay behind it. I'm gonna have to pull off the road and go park in one of them little towns. I was like, let me get by. And I'm like, hey, you need to dig this rubber from the earth in and let me get by this truck. And, hey, it doesn't have a problem. And visions from, slow down. This could happen. This could happen. So it's that relationship with nature helps in those regards. It ain't just about going out there and hugging a tree. It's like appreciating, like you can talk to the wind. And the answer is really cool because you hear the answer in the background. Because you hear it. You like ask the wind a question and the answer, you hear it miles away. And it engulf you with the answer. That's a hell of a feeling. It's cool. It's really cool to keep that going. Asking question after question and still getting that response. Like, okay, this is the next question, ask it, and then you hear it far away, and then you're engulfed with the answer. I guess that ain't for everybody. I guess that really ain't for everybody, but that's the kind of shit that I love, That's what I like to do. And I guess my other point is don't let this get you down, Don't let it get you melancholy. Remember in Killer of the Flower Moon, he's melancholy, He's going through that melancholy. But I mean, really, don't let it give you the blues. Whatever, this time of year would trigger, understand that if it is a trigger, that this time of year could trigger you to, that a lot of us get into the season and that's what it triggers. All right. And there's nothing wrong with that. Just because you celebrate this shit, it ain't no evil connotations. Oh, I'll say this. Yeah. Watch Silent Night. This motherfucker, I'm sorry I'm changing, but it just hit me. It's called Violent Night. Watch that shit. That shit, he says some names that I was like, oh shit. He gives up some names. So the premise is this motherfucker's Santa Claus, and he don't even realize really how Santa Claus work, but he do the job. He been around for 2,000 years. But this motherfucker come up in your crib, he eat the cookies. If you got some liquor, this nigga's drinking your liquor. He is this nigga's been like Santa Claus forever. And he's just like, hey, I know they got liquor. I know they got cookies. So, he reaches into the bag. Magically, a gift comes out and he leaves the gifts. He can magically go up in the chimney and shit. And so it's about this one family that's rich and shit. And it's a bullshit premise, but This motherfucker tells you his name, and he ends up, if you look at him, one of the names he gives is like, what is it? Odin, Thor. There's another name to Thor, but he gives you some of them names. I'm gonna watch it again and write that shit down. But he gives you some of them names which surprised me. He was like, at one point, it looked like you said I was even Gould. You know, he tells you. So watch that for that part. He gives them names out because he tells you he's like Thor. He was killing with the hammer and shit. So if y'all saw that, that's some shit to pay attention to. He was a Viking. Yeah, well, one of the Vikings, you know. But he says he was the bloody somebody. He says, I'm bloody somebody. And that's where the red robe comes from. That's what he let you know. I was bloody somebody, but he's like Thor with the hammer. Yeah. And remember, Saint, he even calls himself at the end Nikolai. But remember, Saint Nicholas was Turkish. He was a Turkish cat. And I think that's pretty easy to find. That's pretty easy to find, Saint Nick. And Saint Nick wore green. He didn't wear red. Motherfuckers. Okay. There we go. See if we can find this motherfucker. Oh. Whoops. Let's see if we can get if they can get a real picture. Yeah, we get a bunch of pictures of him. This dude is Turkish. See? This dude is Turkish. This is probably more how it looks. They kind of whited out some of it. But you see, this is a Turkish dude. Some of the Russians, but again, St. Nicholas. See, this is Russians showing you who St. Nicholas is. See? See how they put it? I think this is another one of him. Green. See? Arrow L, St. Nicholas, the wood wonder maker, the green. See? See? Melanated person. You know, that's where the stockings, put the stockings out. I leave it for the stockings. I mean, this is a little bit of Hebrews, but the Hebrews don't even hit at this stuff here. What the Russians do. This is the Russians. You want to know why do the Russians got all this? You see what I'm saying about the Russians? If you think that Europe was just Europeans. Well, they say fear of a black planet. The deeper they dig, the blacker it gets. So this ain't got nothing to do with the dude in the red, This ain't got nothing to do with the dude in the red. This is St. Nick right here. This is another thing. This even looks older, but kind of the same thing. This is St. Nick. So, let me see. What do you say? Are you talking about the one with David as David Harbour? It's called Violent Night. The shit's called Violent Night. Here, I'll put it on here. It came out. We was gonna see it at the movies because it was at. I don't know. I don't think. No, I wasn't gonna see it because it didn't ever come out on IMAX kind of thing. Yeah, this shit right here, Violent Night right here. Is that his name? You said his name is what did you say his name is? David Harbour. No, his name is it's Alex Hassel maybe, but this movie right here. This movie right here. It's on Netflix. This shit is funny, the motherfucker too. Let me tell you, some of this shit is funny. Huh. Don't know why it's not showing that. What did I do? Oh, I know what I did. That's what I did. All right, yeah, this movie right here. It's on Netflix. His name is David Harbour. Yeah, you're right. David Harbour. Yeah, this one. This shit is funny. It's some funny shit. It's a funny movie. Yeah, it's a funny. Yeah, David Harbour. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that shit's funny. I almost went to the movies to see it because it is funny. It's a funny movie. It had me cracking up. But it gives them names out, and I'm gonna sit there and watch it again, and I'm gonna watch it again and write some of them names down. Ah. This is an interesting premise. I mean, one part, they put him in the cross. One day, John Larrocombs got him and he puts the shit through his hand like Jesus. I mean, it's kind of a lot of different messages there. But, those names, they still, try to get power out of. So I thought that was an interesting premise to put him that he, for some reason, he got elevated or I don't know, maybe it was he got for all what he did. He says he doesn't even know how he got into position, but they show a little bit of his life that he was once, a serious warrior and went by many different names, almost like he was immortal. That's the feeling you got. And because he was immortal, he had to do this job too. Ooh. Damn. So that shit had me cracking up though. Parts of it had me cracking up. John Larrocombs, I mean, his career must really be and Beverly D'Angelo. I mean, what is it? Like her face. Oh, let me see if I can find her face. I don't even know, y'all. Let me see if I can find it again. Here we go. Here it is right here. Like, y'all, look at his face. Like, why would you do that to yourself? Like this is more recognizable than how she looks in the movie. In the movie, she looks horrible. Like she looks like this how this chick used to look. Look how she used to look. This is the mom from Family Vacation. And I know these pictures is probably, from the late 1850s, But to go from that, I mean, even here, look at all that. Ooh, why do that to yourself? Look at this. Like, why? And I mean, she looks horrible in this movie, almost unrecognizable. Almost unrecognizable in this movie. So, I don't know. She fucked her face up. It's funny, like the witch. The witch fucked her face up too. The witch put the articles like, well, I had a bad experience. So I don't use it anymore. Her ass was on what was it called? Yellowstone. Yeah, her ass was on Yellowstone. She was putting that bullshit in her face again. I'm like, damn, witch, you can't make a putty to put in your face. You gotta let them put them injections, and you already had a bad experience from injections. You put that bullshit in your face on Yellowstone. And watch Yellowstone. You see the witch on there. She got that shit on her face. Because that witch got to be about 67, 68, which that doesn't mean you can't look good. But that witch is, because I'm 62. Yeah, chick, you got me by 5 or 6. So you putting that shit in your face. I ain't putting that shit in my face. Getting a couple more teeth put back in. That's about it. I'm naturally charming. I got the gift of gab. My uncle was declared the most handsome man ever born. So, I've got to have a little bit of that. My great uncle had that. My great uncle has about 20 children. He has about 20 children. And they say his grandfather had 50. I only got 8. Got to raise 6 out of the 8. What was it? Was one more thing I had. Did I read everything? Yeah, those was the 2 major stories I had today. Oh, okay. I already talked about the drop. What was I watching? And they had Eddie Murphy, that Eddie Murphy Christmas story. Shit. And they had Eddie Murphy driving the Wagoneer. I thought was odd. I was like, okay, of all the cars you could get, that bullshit car. Like, look, y'all. I'm gonna talk about a little. I've talked about this before. You can look at cars. Now, I'm a Ford guy, but I wouldn't buy an Explorer. The old Explorer maybe, but not the bigger body ones since 12. I wouldn't buy any of them. I even thought, even the Aviators, they're not good cars. If you really look it up, they have a poor performance. And it just shows you, but if you look at now, this is two things about the Navigator. They said the Navigator is the most depreciated car. And how is that? How does this car depreciate quicker than others? But again, it appears to be a more dependable car. The Expedition is the same way. It seems to be a little more dependable. And you can see where cars just weren't good cars. I've said this before. Mercedes from 05 to 11 weren't good cars. And, I'm backed up by enemy of the states. They still weren't good. And what does Will Smith say? He said, this is a good car. And Gene Hackman said, no, they're really not. He was just telling you right now, the quality wasn't there. It's dry in here. Oh, I got the humidifiers out. And it's, that's kind of, cars have went through all kind of quality issues. But now, like my Taurus out there, it's got 180 some thousand miles. That motherfucker's a 14, it's gonna go forever. I do the few little things to it, that motherfucker run forever. And that's American cars from 05 to about 18, 19 were pretty decent for most part. You get American car after 5, it's a better car. It's a better car than what we had saw previously. And GM would hit you with and Ford not so bad, but GM would hit you with, and what brought GM down was GM would say, okay, I'm gonna give you this car in a Chevy, but if you can afford a little more, I'm gonna give it to you in an Oldsmobile. But if you can afford a little more, I'm gonna give it to you in a Buick. But if you can afford the top is the Cadillac. And it'd be the same damn car. They do a little more, put a little leather, but technically under all the guts, it's basically the same damn car. And we saw them do this for 30 years. And that's what ruined, if you look at what killed Pontiac and what killed Oldsmobile, it was like, you stupid motherfuckers is making the same piece of shit. I mean, the 80s cars wasn't like look around and you don't see a lot of the old cars. Look at the American cars and the foreign cars that's old that you see. Tells you good cars. Like you don't see not a lot of them Continentals. I know Cat I used to get Bud from. He had one of them old 97. I think I had a 95 Continental. What year was that motherfucker? I had one of them big Taurus-like Continentals. That motherfucker had saddle seats though. That shit was not, it had saddle seats. And I didn't really have a lot of issues with it, brakes and little things. I think I had to put a water pump on it. But that motherfucker, and the problem was it had the self-leveling. And that shit would go out. And just like I said on my Lincoln, on my other Lincoln, my Mark 8, and one of them go out and you on a trip, that motherfucker turned like this. So that one went out because, it's the computer's making it go up and down. When they go out, they get locked on one way. Y'all remember ever seen one of them Lincolns? Especially like a Mark 4, I think. And the motherfucker went down or up, it's caught in that. And this had it all the way around. That Continental I had it all the way around. A lot of people get them cars and take that shit off. And Mercedes, some of the Mercedes had them where you could put air in them and make them go back up. Y'all remember them? So cars are a hard thing, but the product that's coming out of Chrysler, Stellantis, I don't know, y'all. They don't have a history of making good cars. Even if I was get a Land Rover, I get an 18 or 19. I wouldn't get nothing that Indian company. I would get nothing new. I wouldn't trust it. And the bad thing about if you get an 18 or 19, especially like an autobiography, getting it fixed. A lot of people don't fuck with them kind of cars. And so if you forced to take it to them, and I've read some horror stories on people trying to take them Navigators to the Navigator dealerships. Or excuse me, Land Rovers. Them Land Rovers. taking them into Land Rover since this Indian company took over. It's like they ain't got the parts. It seems to be a lot of issues with them cars. The air rides and my Navigator, I went to two. Yep. The air ride and your Navigator, okay. Exactly, got the Navigator, 100,000 SUV that appreciates fast. Oh yeah, and the thing about the Navigators is, it's you see all the technology in it, but like compare it, I don't really understand that because, well, what makes the foreign cars more valuable is there's less of them. That's what makes them more valuable. If I mean, I look at why the Hondas, why is the BMWs? Because some of these BMWs, I've told about that one we had, that shit, and I think Sly broke it down beautifully. The plastics they put in the engine fucked them engines up. But yet we was able to sell it, we was able to sell it from, we still made a profit. And then what they sold it for, they didn't totally fix the engine. They fixed it where the light wouldn't come on. But they didn't fix the engine. Because we saw what they priced it at. And so some of them cars, they're not that great, but they seem to hold value. But the Navigator's a good solid car. And the Explorer or Expedition is too. They're just basically the same car. They seem to be pretty dependable cars. So if I was to get another Ford, that's kind of what I'm looking at, is getting one of them. But I don't know. I like that BMW where it had the motherfucking, the in front camera, and you ain't even got to look up what you see. You just look down at the screen. That'd be some shit. Look up, look down, look up, look down. Which one do I want to look to? I don't know, y'all. I don't know which one I would want to look into. So, but I hope everybody's feeling good. I mean, don't let this get you down. Feel good, baby. It feels good to feel good. It's the weekend for y'all that work. So does that, this is wild. My brother always like, yeah, he's watching the game with me. He's like, yeah, I'm kind of glad, weekends are coming. The shit is, when you retire, the shit is the same. Weekend, Monday, all the same, Oh, high school hoops. Okay. I'm going to go see my Minnetonka guys, and I'm going to let y'all know. But it's a boy that's playing in Hopkins. 2 boys, both already signed. So hopefully I get to see them brothers play. That's what I'm going to try to catch. I'm going to try to catch Hopkins and, oh shit, they showing, let's see who these motherfuckers are. It's local hoopers, but let's see. Oh, this might be them. Okay, let's see if this is them or not. This might be these young brothers I'm telling you about. Let's see.
You want highlights? We got you covered. The annual Breakdown Tip-Off Classic going on at Hopkins today. Some awesome prep basketball games all day long. We start out with the game of the day. 2 4A title contenders, Park Center, Lakeville North. Wisconsin signee Jack Robinson, the hoop and the harm. Later in the second, the Southpaw cans the triple. He had 25 tonight. Panthers up 76-72. Kashmir Chavis would rally the Pirates. The Washington signee with the basket and the foul. Down the stretch, he would take over. All tied at 79. Chavis,
nice.
The chance to be the
I remember him.
Cash only tonight. The future Husky takes over. 81.
Did you hear that? He's already signed for the Huskies. The other cat signed with Washington or Wisconsin. Yeah, I remember seeing him. They lost in the championship last year. I saw that game.
79, including the game winner right there from him. Creighton signee Jackson McAndrew and the defending 4A state champion.
That's what I was about to say. They won state. Big fella won state last year. He beat Park Center.
Zeta taking on the defending 3A state champs in Totino Grace. In the first, Miami signee Isaiah Johnson hits the tough turnaround. He had 17 this evening. McAndrew showing off the silky smooth shooting stroke. The future Blue Jay with a game high 38, including the game winner. Sorry, folks, didn't have it for you. Had to get back to edit these highlights. Trojans win 83-81, the final. Ben Johnson and Iowa State assistant coach Kyle Green on hand to take in the action tonight. Both watching Minnetonka sophomore point guard Jaden Moore hits the pull-up baseline J. Later in the first, Tyson Moore feeds Jaden, who finds Caden Knutz in there for the easy look. And then Moore showing off the range, pulls up from Hibbing, bang, bang, bang. He finished with 18. Royals win this one by 1.
Wait a minute. Wait, I'm confused. Wait, let me play this back. I am what? Who was this? I'm confused. This what?
In the first, Tyson Moore feeds Jaden, who finds Caden Knutson there.
Oh yeah, this
Easy
is
look.
yeah, this cat right here. He's going to Baylor. This is Jaden. Yeah, I'm cool with his dad. This is Jaden. He going to Baylor. His brother right here is going to Baylor. He signed as a sophomore. He's only a junior. Okay, he's only a junior. Where's the other cat?
And then Moore showing off the range.
Yeah.
Pulls up from Hibbing.
Where's
Bang,
the
bang.
other dude?
He finished with 18 Royals when this one by.
Okay, I'm sorry. This number 4, I think, is going to school too. Okay, who is this? Tigers. Oh, this is the player of the year, or no, top recruit, I think.
First signee, Isaac Asuma.
Yeah, Isaac is signed with the Gophers.
And Cherry taking on Holy Family.
He played
second, Asuma. Then
he plays. Let me say this. He plays in this must be 2A. So he plays in a small league. Let me say that about him. He plays in a smaller competition league.
Rack strong in the paint for the layup right there. Back and forth we would go down the stretch. Holy Family takes a 66-63 lead there. That's Hayden Gugamos with the layup. Asuma but had the answer down the stretch. Nifty Euro step in the paint. The finish, he had 21. Cherry hangs on. Fellow Gopher signee Grayson Grove and Alexandria taking on Wisconsin signee Daniel Freitag and Breck. This is Miles Newton finishing strong against the 2-3 zone. Back comes Grove, recorded his 1,000th career point today. The hoop and the harm, he had 9 points, 10 boards in this one. Freitag leads the Mustangs today. He finished with a game-high 24 points. Breck wins by 3.
All
right. So these are low. Oh, so this is okay. This makes sense. This is where I saw my nephew play his first game. Was in these games. I saw 2 games last year. And that makes sense. The first 2 games I saw my nephew play was in this at Hopkins, and so yeah, I forgot all about that. The first 2 games. So yeah. So I'm gonna try to see Minnetonka play and see how those players do. So let y'all know. But I just I must remind you, I am the holder of the sacred ball game created by the Hero Twins. So I must get in the gym and give some love to someone so I can charge up. Because the gym's charging me up too, baby. Went 2 times. Damn, went twice. Woo. Ooh, no, the stupidest thing they ever did is I got one of them navigators where the motherfucking every time you got in and out, the fucking what did you call them? Where you put your foot on them to get in, every time they came out and went in, and do you know how many, people forget how often you open your doors. And this trim is coming off and coming down. I mean, you could see where it had to break down because it was used so often. The running board would go up and come down, when it was new, it was cool. But when you see how often you get in and out of your car and that shit's coming up and coming down, they should have had a switch where, when you wasn't just in and out, it didn't activate. That would have saved the motor on that thing. Because you getting out of your car a lot of times, So that thing was bound to fail. So that was, again, stupid engineering. And that's what Lincoln was known for. Like to have the automatic trunks was stupid too. It closes, but no, what do most people do? And I guess it ain't no different than you can make the back of your SUV come up and you can make it go down. But the trunk is a little different, it's like you kind of slam it. And those with some, like Lincoln would put shit in cars was just like so unnecessary to be in the cars. It was just like very unnecessary shit to be in your car. Okay. That's what I thought. So yeah, I missed that hooping today. I didn't miss nothing. It was so nasty today. I'm glad I didn't get around. My daughter didn't really want to do nothing, so we just kind of kicked it. What? What is this shit? I didn't hear about this debauchery. Debauchery? What happened? God damn. How did I miss this? Okay. I guess somebody got fucked up. So let's hear the debauchery. I didn't hear about this. It's local debauchery, y'all. It's not funny, but it is funny. Okay, here we go. Tell us, girl.
Community is mourning the loss of a beloved community member. He was murdered last night by a customer while working the cash register. And we do want to warn you, the details of this case are disturbing.
Hey there, over the past 24 hours, a vigil has grown outside of Oak Grove Grocery where that beloved cashier was murdered. The store now closed until further notice. We talked with community members who say the neighborhood won't be the same. There's a dark cloud over the Loring Park neighborhood tonight after a community elder was snatched away too soon.
I had to ask to make sure I was hearing correctly.
A normal day turned sinister. Minneapolis police say just before 1 Friday afternoon, a 44-year-old suspect brought items to the counter here at Oak Grove Grocery. But then the suspect went behind the counter and assaulted the cashier.
Officers encountered a 66-year-old male with what appeared to be a golf club impaled into his torso.
The cashier was taken to HCMC where he later died. As for the suspect, he's behind bars tonight.
Am I looking right? Okay, check this out. My son lived in this building right here. Not this one, this building right here. My son lived in this building right here. And when I helped my son move this summer, I went and got some food out of this place. I mean, shit was mad expensive, but it was hot in the motherfucker. And I mean, this is like this is the city. This is downtown. Kind of going on the south side, but this is downtown. No grass, no trees. Look at this. All concrete. And this is where people live. This is like, I ain't gonna say poor housing, but I'm like, look at this. Look at the colors. Look at the trees, how sickly the trees are. This is all the green they get. It's a condemned building right over here. This is like poor. I remember like my son, it's funny. I was moving my son. I met a young lady and shit. And she was living in a, what do you call them? When you just got a bathroom and a kitchen, you got a room. And she's like, you got one like that too? And I just laughed like, no, baby, I'm not really interested in you like that. But I mean, this, I've been in this little place and it's so, okay, this is fucked up. The guy killed, I knew, this guy, I went in there and met this dude, the dude that got fucked up. I met that guy. Where's this picture at? They showed this picture somewhere in here. So this is fucked up. This guy, all he wanted to do is work his little job in there. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Is the dude that desperate? I mean, most people don't even pay with cash anymore. That's what's so sad about this. Like, how much cash did he really think? He probably had $100, $200 tops, if that. A lot of people don't even keep cash. Like this little store, like if you bought stuff, they would charge you extra if you used your card or some shit like that. It was one of them little stores. They would hit you an extra $100, extra $1 or something what you bought. It was one of them little kind of scam places, but still, it was the only place in the area where you could buy something. So this is fucked up. That is fucked up. And I must say, when I was helping my son move, I was a lot of sitting while them niggas moved. I wasn't feeling, just being over there was fucked up, I thought. But it was what I was talking about with rocks and colors. Like out here, Prior Lake, here in Burnsville, the rocks, our fill rock is beautiful. It's this granite that's all around me. I mean, this shit, where is this? It's got to be some granite near me. I mean, this stuff is all around me. This is one of the highest resonant stones. This is free. And you go to areas like that, you don't see none of that. The colors are just bland. I want y'all to look at this shit again and think of, and I know, people live in certain parts of the country and you got to live like this. This is like, when you're talking about a concrete jungle. Like, it's so sad. Like, I'm seeing people walk their dogs and shit. And it's like it's a park near here, but still. Like, this is Loring, and then Loring goes into Loring Park. The park goes, like, you go up this way, which is really like going west. and there's a park. But I mean, what you see, like right here, you know, this is all concrete, people living on top of each other, you know? And this is very old. Look at how old this style. Look at the old. I mean, you can see the age. This building was probably built in the 20s or 30s. This one appears slightly newer, but not much. So, I mean, it's amazing how people live like that without, you know, having nothing green around them or trees around them, and they accept that. I want nature around me. You know, I want nature around me. I want to be able to have a relationship with a tree. Or the animals. I want to talk to the animals. Wow, yeah, that's that same old dude, you know? Yeah, doesn't look like in the town it's a whole bunch of debauchery, which is always good. You know, it's good not to have a lot of debauchery. And tomorrow's going to be a really big football day. We got the Vikings playing the Raiders. I don't know who played the early games. I mean, I looked this on here. I think the Lions are off. No, the Lions got to be playing. They play the early game. Lions play the early game. Now you can count on one part of the country to always have debauchery. Damn. Niggers do the damnedest things, you know. Oh, it was something. I know what I wanted to see. There was something. I know what it was. They were kicking more homeless people out. Let me see if I can find that. They was giving more homeless the boot. And it's like, what's wrong with I don't know. It's like, if it's county land, what's wrong with the county land, you know? Oh, and remember Hanukkah. If you think Hanukkah, or not Hanukkah, but what do they call it? The black people holiday? Kwanzaa. Remember the dude who created Kwanzaa killed Bunchy Carter. Remember that. So Kwanzaa ain't nothing you really want to fuck with either. Cause that dude killed Bunchy Carter. And they gave him a holiday for it. That's some shit. Oh, maybe I'm past where they Hunter Biden faces charge. Didn't the Trump children face charges as he was being president? This is gonna be, you know, this is gonna be the crazy year because it's the year of the nigga. You know, we ain't had a year of the nigga in a long time. 24 is gonna be nigger all on them. So this is the year of the nigga. So we gonna achieve things, and they gonna trip on this because this is the year of the nigga. So, Lone Cigar Bar in Minneapolis fighting to stay open. Yeah, some cigars are some nasty smelling motherfuckers. That's why I just chew on them. Huh. Somali families in St. Louis Park threaten legal action if kids aren't allowed to opt out of reading. So you don't think the African children should read? They should not have to read. And remember, Somalia is where Black Hawk Down came from. So let's keep that in mind. Use some Black Hawk Down in people. All right, let's Frank and Amelia tell us about it.
Should parents have over what their children are taught in school?
That is at the center of a new battle over books in one metro district. WCCO's Jason Rantala has a case that could end up in court.
This is the 11-page letter Texas-based First Liberty Institute, a conservative Christian law firm, sent to the St. Louis Park School District last month. The law firm says they're representing 6 Somali American Muslim families with elementary aged kids. They accuse the district of exposing young children to book and classroom discussion about sexuality without parental notice.
All our clients are asking for is notice in advance and the ability to opt their children out of teachings that violate their faith.
Talk about what specifically violates the Muslim faith that is being taught in the St. Louis Park curriculum.
A traditional marriage is something that they're teaching to their children, and they also don't want their children to be confused by learning concepts at school that are directly in opposition to what their children are learning at home.
The two books in question are Subway Baby, which tells the story of how a man and his husband adopted a baby together. The other, Huanani Hula Warrior, which describes a genderqueer child who wants to join a boys-only hula troupe.
We stand before you today as representatives of the Somali community in St. Louis Park.
3 Somali American parents went before the school board.
Now let me say, St. Louis Park is where them peoples live. So
in October.
There's books that have been read in the school. It's not something that it's part of our religion.
I want you to know what it feels like as a queer parent to sit here and listen to that. To say that other children have to not be exposed to their family.
In a statement, the St. Louis Park School District says, quote, "These materials are in alignment with the values that we hold." And
didn't I tell you them peoples run St. Louis Park?
They encourage parents and caregivers to engage in conversations directly with their teachers and principals if they have questions. Jason Rantola, WCCO News.
A law firm says it is an ongoing conversation.
Wow, and they got somebody on the board that there's protectors, but St. Louis Park is where when them people see, what's interesting, when you go on the north side and over here, you talk to them, they're like, over north? They sound really like that is the stupidest shit I've ever heard. They don't call it the north side, they call it over north. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Over where? Over the north side? Is it on the north side? Yes, it's over north. So it's over there, or is it there? That's how mine was. Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. You talking about with them motherfucking running boards up and down, up and down, up and down. That shit is crazy. That shit used to drive me. It was cool at first, but after a while, that shit would break down. Your shit would be up or down. And a lot of people just start taking them off and making them stop working. Damn, teens in custody. Damn. It's just debauchery. Debauchery out of New York. Let's see how their news people look. Damn, their news people ugly in a motherfucker. Damn, New York, you got ugly people like this on TV? This is New York, and these is 2 ugly people on New York TV. You telling me ain't no pretty people on New York? Okay, I'm sorry, but still. Why ain't they better looking folks? Let's go.
Hours after a stabbing inside a Brooklyn school.
The victim, just 15 years old, CBS 2's Christina Fan is live outside Edward R. Murrow High School in Midwood. Christina.
Well, Dick and Dana, charges are still pending against that teenage son.
Did this bitch just say Dick and Dana? Wait a minute, I didn't catch that. So this is Dick and Dana. Dick and Dana. Like nobody would like. Now see, this is what my man quantum of science talks about. Is like just the stupid. Nobody would hire 2 people named Dick and Dana to work together. Nobody would do that. This is just stupid as stupid. Dick and Dana. That's the shit he talks about. This kind of shit right here. Who would like, well, we got a dick on the thing. And do we really want to hire somebody, say Dana and Dick and Dana? Okay, let's go. Sorry about that. Let's tell us, fine.
Property without anyone stopping him, and why parents weren't notified about the stabbing until hours later. Irate parents stood for hours in the cold in front of Edward R. Murrow High School Tuesday, communicating through cell phone with their children.
All right, remember what I was telling you guys? Look at the colors. Look at the colors. Look at the colors of this. Look at the colors. Like, this is nothing uplifting. This is their school. Look at this is the high school, but look at the colors. There's nothing uplifting about these dull. I mean, this is like non-success. Don't be upbeat. That's what I was trying to show you. You know, those pictures in Minneapolis. It's like different colors they put around you for the vibrations, you know, and other things. But it's like, this is drab. Does this look like something you can achieve? And there are people that get through, but I'm saying like the colors they put around you is part of the warfare too.
Edward R. Murrow High School Tuesday, communicating through cell phone with their children in lockdown.
Where you at? Shake your hands.
Struggling all day to get answers from the school following a stabbing.
Frustrating and mind-boggling that something like this can happen and there's no notification immediately.
Police say around 9:30 a.m., a 15-year-old boy was stabbed in the stomach by a classmate during a fight in a school hallway. The victim was rushed to Maimonides Medical Center with non-life-threatening injuries, while police say the suspect ran away.
They were on the 3rd floor and they got out of the building. They ran their security by the front door and they were able to run out. Like kids can just walk out of the building whenever they want. The security is doing nothing.
Edward R. Murrow is a non-scanning school, but after Tuesday's attack, students say administrators brought in metal detectors and
Okay, Edward R. Murrow was a news dude, news and radio dude. Newscaster. He was a newscaster. So let's go.
through their bags before dismissal.
If you did the preventive stuff prior to, then we wouldn't be in this situation. Right now, it just feels like everything's kind of for show.
Mayor Adams was asked Tuesday if he supported metal detectors in more city high schools.
And we're continuously looking at ways of having non-intrusive scanners because, you know, we have a balance of protecting our children without damaging that they're feeling as though we're turning into some form of jail-type atmosphere.
But parents say any discomfort is a small price to pay.
It's intrusive, but safety first. I'd rather her be safe than, this.
Okay, let's go back to her. What did in the Too Short song, what did it go? My Bad Ways. He said he blames it on her mama for moving me to the ghetto slums. I blame it on my mama for moving us to the ghetto slums. Now, I don't know this part of New York, I can't say, but I've got an idea when I look at all the pictures and the parents. Like, look at this, look at right here. What are we looking at? It gives me an idea of what part of town this is. It's all melanated folks. All melanated folks. And struggling Europeans. Struggling Europeans. This look like grandma. This is grandma. This ain't mama. Now, maybe they're together, but this is grandma. Why is grandma there? Looking so old. She ain't got no children. They're grandchildren, if anything. So, struggling Europeans, American Europeans, not Europeans. There's a difference between European Europeans and American Europeans. But they're Europeans. They ain't white. Call them what they are. They're not white. Like we ain't black. They definitely ain't white. Search continues. They ain't caught him yet. Oh, then we got him. Person in custody after student stab. Brooklyn mom says she's been raising concerns about the school for a while. New York, oh my goodness, this shit, like, it's debauchery.
How much say?
Yo mama, that's how much. It's just debauchery, y'all. That is what gets me. It's like just debauchery. I'll say this about quantum of science. That brick shit you did was pretty cool. I'll give that to you. That shit was cool. I would definitely say on how to build fireplaces. That shit was solid. That was some solid work, I must admit. It's like, yeah, it's like in my own experience, like my mother was explaining how her house was like the house that she grew up in, that when I first lived, I guess my first long-term living somewhere. Because I guess I was born like in my grandmother's house, but come to find out, it was bed bugs and shit. My grandmother would just get these mattresses and they had bed bugs. Again, this is 1961. So we moved to where my mother grew up. When my father and my mother and me lived in this house, and the house is shaped like a cross. And in the middle of the house it was a heater, but it heated like it was like lit all the time. Maybe it had some directional blowers, but it was like not every room. So you had multiple blankets. And remember this, there's motherfuckers in the north that had before, they didn't have indoor plumbing in the wintertime when you had to go out and take a shit. Now you could piss anywhere, but if you had to take a shit, you had to go to that little box out there. Can you imagine that? Being a woman, having to go outside in the wintertime? Some of them might have a light inside. You might have had to take a candle or a flashlight. Looking all around and you sitting on this wooden thing and there's shit all under you. Like you've been in these little, portables. It's the same thing. That's what people used to have. And that's all kind of, propane heat. I've talked about that before. But it's funny, some people just had their stoves. You had a small place and you kept your stove on all the time. Your stove heated the house too. Used to be little places like that. It was a big old room and they had a stove in it. And they cooked on the stove and the stove heated the house. So they always kept the stove on. So you can survive. It's people that survived without these electronics, So that's some good stuff that I thought was helpful. So, because, we just can't talk about reality all the time. You got to live your life. Because I caught this shit foul the other day. I caught this shit. And, it's just like, okay, it's only, and, it's funny when you catch this thing and then it's like more rewards come. Because I was sitting there, I was like, oh shit, okay, this is the reward. But I caught this shit and it's nothing foul, but I caught it. And I've caught it before. And I'm like, okay, yeah. And it's funny, the people around you like, no. I'm like, okay, I know what I experienced. You can't tell me that I didn't feel that moment and I didn't understand that moment. I said, Then I come back and like, wait a minute. Y'all fucked up. What at Dark City, you motherfuckers tuned this shit wrong. This shit wasn't tuned like this. Y'all tuned wrong. That's what I'll say. You motherfuckers tuned wrong. And Dark City is, it's definitely, it's like almost hitting the lottery. I mean, think of, it's almost like, you be a motherfucker poor one day and then you wake up the next day, because that's really how the lottery works. It's like, you go through your regular time, you pay this little ticket that, you're in the habit of buying, and then it hits. And you have to go through all the ways of collecting this shit. And it really hits almost like Dark City. It's like they tuned you to win it. And, going through all that, it's a lot of fucked up energy. You see the dude who supposedly won the billion, they always fucking with him. And that sister that, remember the sister that she's getting her boyfriend out on $20 million. She had to put $20 million up for him. If the nigga goes to court, you get your money back. So, they don't put that kind of shit up there. Remember that. They, you get your money back if they show up in court. It's just if they don't show up, then that's, But if they show up, you get it back. And if they're kind of cool people, they show up. It's like somebody did this skit with a dude, is supposedly his lady, took his bread and got her baby's dad, her children's daddy out. If he goes to court, the money comes back. That's real. It's not like the money's gone. It's gone till the nigga goes to court. That's how it works. That's how bail works. You show up, you get the money back. Damn, what did that? I don't know. I don't know what did that. But I'm hyped for the games tomorrow. We're going to put our Christmas stuff up. And, yeah. I'm hyped for next weekend. Not hyped for Monday morning. I got to go to therapy. I'm not hyped for that shit. 9 o'clock. I don't know why I let them fucking young people talk me into that shit. Knowing I talk all night. Fuck, I didn't go to bed till what? 4:30 last night? I don't get up till 12 on Saturday. I didn't get up till 12. So tomorrow I'm getting up to make my coffee at 11, eat my cereal by the game time. I will be up. Oh, well, so it's not a lot of debauchery. I didn't have a whole lot tonight anyway. I guess, one thing I want to say, the outhouse, yeah, the outhouse was fucked up. Like my experience with the outhouse was, and I've said this before, so where my stepfather's family lived in Cassopolis, they lived in a lake, near a lake. I don't know if the lake was deeper at one time, I know, but they lived kind of not on lake property. They were a street or from over. But one thing that my uncles, because it was two brothers and they both bought properties here, and they owned what was in the back. And I think my grandfather owned a larger share because at one point we put two trailers back there. But on my uncle's property, my great uncle, his brother, my grandfather's brother, he had a tiny house. It was a tiny house right there. And the tiny house was literally just a bed in it. I mean, that's all it was like a cottage, like a summer cottage. If you stand on the lake and you just want a little cottage to lay in, it was one of them kind of deals. But it was the tiny house, and I remember one time Johnny lived there. Johnny later got killed, and I talked about Johnny before. Johnny went to Vietnam as a contractor, building buildings and shit, pushing bulldozers, and got killed in Vietnam. As a contractor, and I doubt intelligence. This nigga was building shit, but he lived in there, and then in the bathroom, he had the outhouse. So he had the outhouse. So when we would play, it was a pretty big property. So, we children, 4 or 5 year old children, we running all over that shit. As long as we don't run in the highway, we got the, the woods and all that shit. We got the free range. Ain't like today, ain't nobody out, we just running around. And it had an outhouse. So if we had to pee, we peed in the outhouse. I'd never shit in that thing. Matter of fact, we had a trailer. I had a bathroom. When I was 4 and 5 years old, I had a bathroom in my room. We had a trailer. It was a bathroom. That's why I never understood when my folks didn't take that room. That room had a bathroom in it. And it had a sink. It had a bathroom and a sink. I think that, and I was up in there by myself. Front of the house, it was something large. No, it was where I first developed a relationship with the tree. Instead of being scared of the tree, I'm like, tree, what's happening? I'm glad you're there. You're keeping me company. Oh, did y'all catch where Biden held back? They ain't gonna ban menthol cigarettes. Did y'all see that? He's pushing it back. They were supposed to ban it, I think, this month. Supposed to be banned as right now, and yeah, he pushed that shit back. These motherfuckers making money, and this is election year. He's saying, let the niggas smoke. That's what Biden like. Let the niggas smoke. It's election year. These niggas don't have their Cools and their Newports. They menthol. These niggas might not, be. So they for the next year, 24, which is the nigga year, the year of the nigga, they're going to be able to have their menthol cigarettes. I only think that's right. You that smoke, I know you smoke menthols. I mean, I must admit, the cigar I chew on is sweet. I don't smoke the motherfucker, but to suck on it, it is sweet. So it's not menthol though. But for those of you that fire up menthols, they're not taking them away. And I'm it is like the part of reality says, does any of this shit matter? That's the other part of it. Does it matter what you eat? I think it does. I think it all fights into the type of energy you are, and that you are so much that you have to, at some point, understand what you're putting into yourself. That's the best way I can say it. And it really doesn't matter. It in a lot of ways it doesn't matter, but from an energy standpoint, from a knowing standpoint, you should do what you've learned. I'll put it out there like that. You should do what you've learned. So whatever your diet is and whatever you've learned, follow that. That's the best way I could say it. You should be able to do what you learned. No other way to say it. Because you know what they say at Hamburger Hill when people get killed, and it's probably real? It don't mean nothing, not a thing. It's probably what it is. You know, that was their way of dealing with death. It don't mean nothing, not a thing. And that's a lot of what reality is. Most of it doesn't mean anything. And it's funny. To me, one of the funnest things, like one of the most self-satisfying, oh, what did this say? Nigga. Is, resigning from one job and getting another one. I mean, be able to walk away from that shit and saying, fuck you. I remember I told one motherfucker, I'm like, look, I live in such and such town. I drove that Land Rover out there. If I work here or somewhere else, it ain't gonna make me not miss rent. I said, it's just gravy money. And that fucks them up, when they think that, we'll take this job away from you and you'll have nothing and your family. No, motherfucker, I wouldn't take this job if that's all the job meant to me. How stupid do you think I am? And then the motherfuckers, when you hit them like that, it's like they have a dysfunction. It's like, well, you're supposed to be scared, because this is, everything you do depends on this job. No, motherfucker, it doesn't. No, chump. No, chump, everything don't depend on this job. It's like all the people that do this shit and didn't get demonetized. They was dependent on this shit. This is my hobby. These niggas depending on this shit, for a check. I need those viewers out here. Remember, what was his name? Johnson, the motherfucker that was supposed to build a school and then everybody forgot about it and they accepted him even though he didn't build a school and swindled a lot of money. That nigga. I mean, they try to beat that into people. They want you to be fearful. You know that car out there you drive? Yeah, it ain't got nothing to do with this. It ain't got nothing to do with this job, motherfucker. That house I live in, because I remember I was living in Eden Prairie at the time. You can look up how much it costs to live out there. I'm living out there, driving that Land Rover. You like, motherfucker, you think this little punk ass money y'all give me is what I'm surviving on? Really? Really? But was telling me where he live. I'm like, this is what I pay. And you think this is what I use to pay that? You think I can really live there and pay that in this punk ass job? That's how motherfuckers, they don't, and American Europeans ain't used to being talk like that. I told one motherfucker, I think he had a nervous breakdown. And I've talked about this before, but I hit that nigga wrote 30 pages about me. It hurt him so bad because nobody had ever put him in his place. He had never had a confident person that worked around him. He had superiors, but the people that worked around him, again, this motherfucker he's a production dude. He ain't got nothing to do with me. I mean, yes, we work together, but you ain't over me. I don't work for you or with you, other than we give the production our work. They come over, this is what you get. So, but yeah, I broke him. I know I broke him, and that felt good to break him. Because he didn't even know how to handle it when I talked to him, and he didn't even know how to handle it. He's like, whoa. He's looking at me like, that shit, I know what it did. It broke something inside of him. Wait a minute. You're not supposed to be able to talk to me like that. That made that nigga have a conniption. Look up conniption. He had a conniption. Think about it. This motherfucker went home and all he thought about was me and the way I talked back to him. And the shit made him go crazy. The shit made him go crazy because he had never been treated like that. He had never been talked to from man to man. Because he thought, where you worked, that he was a man, but you wasn't a man. I mean, this is how certain Europeans think. And certain people, I ain't just going to put that on Europeans, but Europeans too. That's how they think, is that they a man, but you ain't the man. And if you stand up to him and correct him, that shit, some of these motherfuckers they'll have their circuit is short. That motherfucker be like, but this motherfucker went home, and I laugh about it now because I know that's exactly what happened. I mean, I've used people at work where I was like, motherfucker, please fire me so I can get this free money. Please, please, please fire me. If you fire me, I can go get this free money. And don't forget, it was times where Obama gave niggas unemployment for 2 years. Y'all remember that? He gave unemployment for 2 years. Obama was a motherfucker. He's like, well, things aren't going so well. Boom, y'all. He put his finger in the pot and said, y'all can get unemployment for another year. Or maybe it was a year. Maybe I'm forgetting. Maybe it was just a year. Usually unemployment, 6 months, 6 months. I think it was like 18 months. Obama stretched it to. So, that's guaranteed money. How hard are you really looking for a job if you ain't hustling and doing other shit? It gives you a chance to hustle and do other shit. So you don't, it's make it work. That's what it is. It's like they still giving you something to make it work. And if the job made you or broke you, then you need to tighten your shit up. Because by now, if anybody listening to me over 30, your shit should be tight enough where, you got a lot more going on than just where you work. You've got enough investments into your life. And that's the American life. As I said before, I bought my first house 25. Yeah. We got married at 24. Yeah. So that must have been, I bought my first house in 86. Yeah, because my son was born maybe 86, 87. So if you 27, 26, 27, you should be, And I know they say a certain age, they don't want to buy houses, which I understand. Where this row house sits, they cut the grass, they shovel. I like that we pay that extra, whatever it is, a month to get that for this house. I like that. I ain't got to cut grass. I ain't got to shovel snow. I mean, last year was so bad where, they didn't come quick enough and I had to shovel that shit out a bunch of times. That's how I hurt my back. But I'm just saying, for your life planning, they say a lot of people, young people, don't want to buy houses. That's an investment. Now, right now, I'm going to tell you the last 3-4 months when that shit was up to 10%, no, don't buy a house. Right now, they dropped some of the rates to 7. Don't buy a house. Don't buy a house. And it don't fall for, you can always refinance, because that's what they'll hit you with. I mean, if you're in a serious position to buy a house, that's what they're going to tell you. Don't worry about the interest rate. You can refinance. That's a trap and that's a trick. Don't fall for it. Because you got to pay it back regardless. So somewhere you're going to have to pay back somewhere 10%. That ain't going away. Just because you refinance it for a smaller amount, some of that shit still rolls into your new loan. So wait till that shit goes back down. But that's on you. If you're a big baller and don't matter, 7%, you don't care, have at it. And gold, baby, is up to 2,000. 2,000, baby, 2,000. So your ring, your chains, all that is worth more. All that is worth more. Just giving it to me. It's just $1. The dollar gained. Damn, the dollar gained. Nope. The dollar compared to, this is just the Great Britain, is 79 cents. Ooh, that ain't shit. So if you go to London, your money is only worth 80 cents. You lose. But if you use euros, the euro, our money is worth more. So fuck going to Great Britain. Look at this shit. Why would you go to Great Britain? Look at this shit. Look at your buying power if you go to Britain and you use your dollar. It's only worth not even 80 cents. 80 cents. But if you spend in euros, see, it's 93 cents. This is Japan. You go to Japan, $1.44. See what I'm saying? 80 cents. Canada, your dollar is worth $1.30. China, damn near $7. Australia, $1.52. HKD. Hong Kong, $7. Where is that? India. $83. Your dollar is worth 83 rupees. God damn. Yeah, look, 93 rupees. These are, I think, the same. Oh, Russia. Ain't too many niggas in Russia this time of year, though. Oh, I didn't mean it to do that. We can go back. Okay. Yeah, ain't nobody going to Russia. South Korea. The won, you can get 1,300 wons. So, you'll get me back on shoes. So, let me see any gold. Is gold over here? Oh, look, Ethereum is trading at, Bitcoin is at 43,000. It's not bad. Not really bad. 43, that ain't bad. It was just 21 not long ago. Look at Ethereum. Oh, Ethereum did drop. 2,300. Gold is gold on here. It is not JP Morgan. What is he at? $1.58. Whew, not bad. Pepsi, $1.65, and it's down. Wow. No gold. Okay. But this is the kind of shit you need to be paying attention to. Like, if you motherfuckers got 401ks, I mean, you nigga, what do you think that is? That's an investment. You look at that shit. What is your money being invested in? That's what you got to remember. 401k, what are they investing your money in? And that's something you can be, on top of. But gold is definitely shit. If you got some gold coins, even your chains, rings, watches, if they gold, they worth something. Like, they're always worth something. And that's the good thing about jewelry. It's always worth something. And especially, now with these metals, gold is, you're going to get you go to sell your change, they try to give you half. But think about this. If you got a gram, you're at least going to get $1,000. If you got not a gram, excuse me. If you got an ounce of gold, you're going to at least get, because they try to give you half, but you're going to get at least $1 out of it. $1,000, so that's not bad that you're going to get half or more. It depends. A lot of them go penny weight, so but it's not bad. But these are things that you should be thinking about. Because, illegal ain't the only way to make money. And it's a lot of legal ways to make money. Setting up businesses, how you deal with employees. And what's sad about like people that have never been managers, most of them try to have a parent-child relationship. You can tell a motherfucker ain't never been a manager, because that's the way they manage. They manage parent-child, or they try to micromanage, try to do everything. Motherfuckers try to do everything and ain't getting nothing done because they trying to do everything. And so if you're in that position, what kind of manager are you? And do you let your team do what they're hired to do? Because if you become a manager and you go into a certain system, you still have to teach everybody the way you want it done. And going into a new system or going into a new position, you still have to find out the easiest way, and not really easy is a good word, but you still have to make people understand how you want the work to flow. And you have to have a sound plan on how whatever you sell, how you want things to be done. And that it takes time. It ain't nothing that's going to be overnight, but it takes time. But for you to be successful, you have to consider that. Because a lot of times you step in a position, they're used to doing it the way they want it done. But when you put in for the position, you have to look at the position and say, this is how I could succeed in the position. So you have to look in your mind. You have to think about the way everything works. Now, like if you working for a business and you don't see how it works and how they making money, I mean, you's the dumb motherfucker. I'm gonna say that again. If you are an adult and you don't look at where you work and don't see how it operates, you's a dumb motherfucker. You still a child. You still a child in your mind. You should be able to go into any job and understand how they're making money doing this. That's just for your well-being and understanding what's going on around you. And I'm sorry I'm so harsh, but really, it's something that you should understand. You should see how the business operates. So you're the manager without having to be the manager, but because you see how it operates. And from every position, you work for Target, you work for Burger King, understand all the aspects of what you're seeing. And that's how you teach yourself how to do business. Understanding the demand, understanding the supply. Like if anybody works in the clothing store, what happens in the clothing store? You get new clothes all the time. You're constantly, so you have to understand fashion. You have to understand people. So these are just little things. Whatever you do, understand that. Understand how the people are doing it and making money and making profit. Now, I'm not saying you got to go in that business, but I'm saying understand how it works. Because if you do have your own dream of running your own business, you can take some of that information. Was like, man, and pick people's brains. Because some people love to talk. People's brains, how it works. Pick their brains. I need to know how this works. How is this working? Pick their brains. Find out how it's working. So if you do something else, you're like, or if you're in a similar position, you're like, okay, this is what they did, and I can bring that in like it's my idea. Like, oh, I can make that work. Try this, and this. Then they tried and it works because you saw it work somewhere else. They look at you like you a genius and you done copied it from somewhere else. That's all. That's how it works. It's pretty simple. Pretty simple. It's not very simple, but it's just being observant. I don't care what you do in a factory, wherever you work, understand that business. Understand it. And I don't know, I can't give you any better advice than that. And I'm not saying you got to do it as a career, but understand it. Understand how these people are making money. It'll make you a better business person, I guess is my biggest way. And I've never went into any place without that, I've looked at, again, my background is quality, and quality goes a long way. It goes into shipping, receiving, and, the actual product. I mean, it's a lot to deal with. So I've had a lot of aspects of how to move, products and stuff. But that's only doing yourself a favor to understand what you're doing. That's all. And I mean, if that don't mean shit to you, then okay. Okay, it don't mean shit to you, but that's, if that's where your mind is, okay. I say that's okay too. But it's just some advice I'm trying to give as an old pimp. Remember my wife asked me, like, what is the bottom bitch? Is that the worst hoe? Actually, it's not. A lot of time the chick is that they would call the bottom bitch is like, really, she's the one that makes everything work. She's your oldest confidant. She's your oldest girl. By this point, she's doing the least amount of fucking because she's helping with, your thing. So she's doing, and some people may say, she's the least desirable, but no, she's the one that's been with you that got all this started. So she's the one in most cases that's going to be there with you because she's been through it the longest. She saw your growth as you bring in more people around you. So it doesn't necessarily mean a put down. A lot of it is kind of like a badge of honor in some ways too, because she's the one that's the most down with me. And so in some instances, you want her on the bottom because she's going to do the least amount of work. Fucking. She's going to do all the other things that need to be done to make your business successful. Bottom bitches be the vets. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, she's figured out she's figured out how to make money without fucking. She's putting all these younger, prettier people. So it's not a you're not talking shit about her. You're not putting her down given that position. She is working with you behind the scenes. She's only fucking her old vets. Like he said, she's fucking her old regulars. So she's doing the least amount of fucking and in some instances making the most money. Because she's been with people for, years and years. So it's not necessarily a bad name, is my point. She can be the one that's the downest with you. So, and it's funny, like our appetite for women. And I guess it's both ways. It's not just women. That's just like our appetite to love others or be close to others. I mean, that's not unnatural, and it's not really negative. But I guess, when you get a certain point in your life, you say, how do I build with someone? And can you build with 3 or 4 people? It's hard. It's hard. Because if you have a group of women and one woman is really like doing better than the other 2 or 3, because you're dealing with these other 3 that she knows, their mentality, it makes her question, what's wrong with me? Why am I fucking with him? I've got this going on, but yet he's fucking with these people that are doing this, this, and this. And so, this might be the top girl, and that's how you can mentally fuck the top girl up, the young one that's doing the best. Because she starts looking at what's wrong with me. Why do you need them? And what can you say? What can you really say? What is it? It becomes you. Well, Richard Pryor said, I'm tired of fucking you. And it's like, I like fucking you, but I'm tired of fucking you right now. So I'm going to fuck her until I get tired of fucking her. Then I'll come back to you. Well, Richard Pryor say, look, let's not fuck for a month. Then when I come back, I'm going to run around the house 3 times and you jump out the window on my face. Maybe we can spice up the relationship. I mean, I know it's a motherfucker being young. But one thing I did see is not a lot of players where 3 or 4 women or 3 or 4 men is taking care of 1 woman or 3 or 4 women is taking care of 1 man. You don't really see that. You see the daughters taking care of daddies, but you don't see these women around like, you thought you had it. And that's from experience. You don't see that. Now, if you got daughters, you're in a good position. You fuck these women around, the daughters still live around you, they'll help you out, no doubt. You raise the daughters right, they will help you out. From experience, they seem to be some of the best helpers. You raise them right, even though they know you, they there for dad, all right? But if you don't have that, it ain't gonna be 3 or 4 girls that's coming to help you. They may be your 3 or 4 girls, but believe me, you lay down and can't get up for a couple days, and only one of them can see you, because if that's the one you're living with, and you can only, communicate with the others on the phone, they can't really come see you like that. So they can't help you when you're down. I mean, can they even come see you when you're in the hospital? Like, you go in the hospital, your other 2 girls, can they come up to the hospital to see you without your main girl getting mad? So you fucked up in the hospital, and these 2 girls, 3 girls, they don't even know what, they can't even, they have to like look through your girl to find out what the fuck, where you at, because they ain't hearing from you. They were just thinking, oh, what did I do? What did I do? He ain't calling me. What did I do? He ain't social media me. What do I do? I'm looking at his wife shit. She ain't talking about it. What happened to this nigga? He could just cut me off? And you laying in the hospital. And think if it's 2-3 weeks you up in that motherfucker, and these girls ain't heard from you in 2-3 weeks. What do you think happens to them? Yeah, it trickles down, 2-3 weeks, it'll trickle down. They'll talk to somebody and figure out, oh, this nigga's in the hospital. And depending on what happened to you, will they deal with you after that? Let's go both ways, men, women. You can look at both situations. I'm just using it as a man perspective, but you can flip it. I mean, is this something like, who do you really count on? Like when I said, no matter what happens to my wife, and she knows, no matter what happens to her, I'm right there. And, you know, I'm older than her, so I know she'll be right there for me. If I get a flagpole stuck in my neck, she gonna be right there. Can you take it off? Hey, you know, it's like that's some fucked up shit of flagpole in my neck and shit. Like, oh, help me, be like the fly and shit. But she'd be right there. Well, don't move it too much. To walk around with a big piece of metal in my neck and shit. Walk around like Herman, you know, the monster had the bolts coming out. Be like that and shit. But these are things that young people don't consider, that because what you have to understand about being a man, and I know, you know, I've said this many times before, but men don't understand. It's like a lot of niggas say, well, when I didn't have a woman, you know, nobody fuck with me. But now I got a woman and, you know, everybody else is like calling me and shit. And what you don't understand is you was always attracting people. But when you attract a woman and you say this woman's in your life, so that energy is modified. So like really when you don't have a woman, you know, again, you know, you're not attracting the same thing, because it's almost like you don't have the honey. That's the best way I can explain it. It's like, okay, your energy is kind of everywhere to women. And that's, you know, and you know, it's single people in single relationships. So I guess I didn't state that quite right. But it's just the way you've attracted the girl that you're with, that energy is still going. If you can understand that. And it's really modified when you get married. Because women look, you know, you see when you see people that they married or they're not married. And it really becomes because you already have attracted something permanent to you. So that attraction still keeps going. And if you like me, you know, a pimpy like nigga, and you dress and you know how to talk to people, that's always there for you. But being mature is like, I'm not addressing you to attract you, honey. This is what I need done, and I don't need that from you. And I don't need attention. Because that's the other thing. You know, motherfuckers ain't used to getting attention. And there's motherfuckers that, you know, they choose chicks because the chicks stroke their egos and give them the attention that maybe the other one don't give them. So is that your character flaw or her character flaw? It's like how do I tell this story? How did the nigga tell me? It was like the nigga had two women, and one woman talked to him when they had sex. And he was like, I like that shit. And he's like, he hated his wife because his wife wouldn't say shit. She'd come and really wouldn't make any noise and shit. That shit pissed him off. The other girl, he act like, you know, she act like she was going crazy. And I'm like, so how she act? He's like, yeah, she does this and this. And I'm like, nigga, that bitch is faking. And he looked at me like nothing in his mind had told him that the bitch was faking. I'm like, man, that bitch is faking, man. She see you like that shit, so she keep doing that shit because she see you like it. Well, the first time she didn't, like, nigga, she looking at you. And then he like, okay. And then he got with her. He's like, yeah, you're right. This bitch has been faking the whole time. Like, duh. You know, duh. Niggas a duh. You know, I hated to tell him like that, but I'm like, man, this bitch is faking like this shit with you. This ain't real, what you feeling with her. Nigga, that bitch is faking. I know. Like when he was telling me this shit all along, and one day I just had to break him down. One day, man, I really had to break him down. Like, man, I've been listening to your bullshit. Like, look, this was happening. And the motherfucker was like, what? Like, man, just do this and see. And he came back to like, yeah, you right. She faking. Like I told you. So you done fell in love with something that ain't even there. You fell in love with an actress. And so don't let that blind you, you know? Like, love is a motherfucker, y'all. It is, and family is just, I mean, it's one thing when you live with somebody, but when you become married, you become family. So like with my daughter, all these people now is family. They're not just, you know, this is my dad, you know, my girlfriend's mama. No, this is family. You know, I have another grandmother. You know, I have another uncles. You know, this is family. This is my stepmother. This is my bonus mother. Whatever you want to call it. This is family. This is not just, you know. And it's funny, you know, this is something that I never did. Like that boyfriend, girlfriend shit when you grown. I can just remember breaking up with my ex-wife and she's like, oh, this is my boyfriend. And I'm like, how old are you? That's some teenage shit. Like to me, that's that was just a simplistic way of living and describing your relationship. Now, people used to say that's my old woman, my old man. Yeah, that sounds better than boyfriend, girlfriend, or just my girl. That's my guy. But 30, 40, 50-year-old motherfucker saying, this is my girlfriend, Patty. How do you sound? How do you sound? This shit don't even sound right. He's an old motherfucker and, you know, you got a girlfriend. Here's my lady. You know, Richard Pryor say, you know, this is my old lady. Oh my goodness. I thought my wife was gonna stay up. You guys gotta see this goddamn ring I bought. Man, this shit is sweet. This shit is sweet. I think it's a carat and a half. Just her fucking what do you call it? The band. That ain't the engagement ring. But man, her band, they had one like this. I saw a picture of, like, damn, that shit is really nice. Girlfriend Patty. As I be, you know. As I motherfucker be, you know. Be like, that's my girlfriend. Like, motherfucker, ain't you 100? You got girlfriends at 100? Well, I think I'm gonna go. What time is it? Okay, I'm gonna try to go to bed before it gets too much later. I feel good though. Tomorrow, damn, I got 9 o'clock fucking PT. But I think, yeah, I don't know where. Yeah, I gotta be here because I got a lot of work to do to the house. So don't imagine I'm going anywhere. Probably gonna cook. I know we're cooking chicken. Yes, I should be on tomorrow night. I think so. So yeah, we'll go over to breaking down the games. Yeah, we'll break down the games. I must say though, it's entertaining watching LeBron. It's entertaining. What year was it? Let me say this about LeBron. What year was it? Damn, it was before COVID. It was like LeBron's 17th, 18th year. Remember everybody's beating his shit? You could just see where he had lost it. Like, remember where they was all scared of LeBron? Do y'all remember that year where motherfuckers wasn't scared of LeBron anymore? They was beating his shit. What year was that? It was like they must have really let him go, and they was beating LeBron shit left and right. He couldn't get by anybody. Do y'all remember that? What was that, 17, 18? It was like kind of sad to watch. Like he wasn't getting by anybody. Like that last season at Cleveland, he wasn't getting by anyone. No, you could just see like when Tiger was golfing early, everybody was scared. You know, that Tiger done got beat upside the head with a golf club and flipped in the truck. Ain't nobody scared of that Tiger anymore. But that's how LeBron was for a couple seasons. They were like, motherfuckers caught up with LeBron. You old LeBron. Like watching Dr. J play guard. You know, Dr. J was a small forward his whole life. And the end of his career, he had to play guard and didn't have a jump shot. Dr. J shot it like he kind of came back. He didn't really have a natural. He kind of had this. Watch his J. Watch Dr. J's. Watch his J. He had this. He didn't have straight up. He had a lot of roll in there. Good. He's a mid. Didn't even have mid range. You see Dr. J and then he over LeBron dunks. What is it? Let me read this over here. Oh. What is it? Turn myself off. What is it? You see Dr. J. Oh, yeah. I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. Oh, that was when he played for Miami? Okay. That was when he played for Miami. Yeah, that LeBron was a trash LeBron. They was beating his shit. It was like you could see it wasn't LeBron, scary LeBron. It was like, oh, this old man LeBron can't jump. So I don't know if he needed a rest or was hurt, but that LeBron was trash. So right now, it's a lot of, and it's like, it must be that the script, everyone can't fit in. So it must seem like that's what it is. Ah, there it is. All right, good. Well, y'all, remember, sorry doesn't shine my shoes. I got to give my rap. I haven't done Eshawn in a long time. Here's Eshawn. I'm not a New York rapper or a LA gang banger. I'm just an old school Detroit crack slinger. Make more money. My pockets like sunshine. They always sunny. And sorry don't shine my shoes. This has been the Chocolate Mountain Show. Till we meet again.